Yeah, I get you on that. I'm just saying that if anything, I consider that something for the little kids, like about about 8 to 6.
Well, if they were making it for little kids for about 8 to 6, it shouldn't have been 100. It should have been over $100 for a game, a really overly simplistic game, and a whole bunch of cardboard. That, like, if they wanted to make a product that was for kids, it should have been between $40 and $30. Because when you start selling something for kids and it's over 100, that's not for kids. That's just some bullshit.
I was gonna say that's allowance money,
No,
and
no,
it's
over
not
hundred
really.
dollars. Like I don't like, First of all, when I was a kid, I didn't really have an allowance, but but when someone says, $100, I'm like, over $100. That's not allowance money. $100 is Christmas gift, birthday present money. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's allowance in birthday money
So
at the least.
they fucked up. But anyway,
Hey
that's neither
guys,
here.
what's up?
How's it going? That's neither here nor there. Let's have everyone introduce themselves, and then we'll dive into what the podcast is about. Starting with the lady going first. Go ahead, lady, go first.
Haha. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, to the BS Busters End of the Week podcast. I am Gerard Lemon Star, and oh boy, do I have to wonder what the fudge are we gonna get into with Epic?
All right, uh, Kenoshi.
It's Kanoshi Abominito and saying if you're counting down to E3, you're wasting your time.
Yeah, I agree. You are wasting your time if you're counting. Now, this is Mr. Red Fox talking about uh, all types of wonderful things. We have some good stuff tonight. Um, we're going to be talking about dormant IPs that need new installments from first, third, and second party developers slash console manufacturers. Surprisingly good games that are much better than they have any business being. Epic's epic money hatting, and the Game Builder Garage, which, I mean, let's just keep it real, is the leftover the dev kit that Nintendo probably used internally that they probably cleaned up so that anyone could use, and they just put out of there because people weren't buying Labo, which I called it. I said this was just some bullshit that Nintendo put together because they were like, if people are dumb enough to buy cardboard in these shitty mini games that we're putting together, then for $100+, we'll get them coming and going. And they did. And now that kind of ran its course, they're now like, well, we could still make some money off of it. So there you go, Game Builder Garage. But anyway, um, let's
So,
dive
what's on the
into it.
menu first?
Let's start with dormant IPs that need new installments from first, third, and second party developers slash console manufacturers. So who wants to go first?
Mischief Makers.
I agree. Um, I mean, it's going to be kind of tough considering that.
I know it's going to be tough because the people that made it are broken into parts or
Well, they haven't made a new
zombies.
thing in years. Like they just keep on re-releasing Ikaruga and Radiant Silvergun.
As I said, consider that they're basically zombies at this state. I'm if I know I know it's a long shot, but I rather hope for it.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. I mean, personally, um, I mean, just me, personally, I would love to see it brought back, but you know, who's to say?
Yeah, I know it's a long shot, but hey, I could at least try to dream.
I mean, I would. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I would love a Mischief Maker sequel. Um, I mean, I think anything from Treasure. I think Treasure makes so many games where I'm like, man, if this game had a sequel, it'd be awesome. But the only games that they made that really got a sequel was Bangai O Spirits. Like Bangai and Gun Force Heroes got kind of a sequel on the Game Boy Advance. Um, but not really. It just had like 2 extra levels. Like, because Treasure makes good games. Like Treasure made, Treasure made like before they became Treasure, they're the ones who made Super Castlevania 4. That game is awesome. And then after they left Konami, they made Gun Force Heroes, which arguably is one of the best shoot 'em ups ever. Like that's one of the few games that was on the Sega Genesis and not the SNES that I was jealous that it was on the Sega Genesis. You know, I was like, come on, man.
One of the few times Genesis does when Nintendo don't. Oh God, I still remember that.
Not really, because I mean, the only thing that made that game unique was that all the action was going on in special effects and it didn't really have slowdown. And the relatively wide screen, because a lot of Nintendo games were cropped. But just like, you know, it was just one of those games like, man, this game is really good. You know, like if you were a Sega fan, I mean, you didn't have the Super Star Wars trilogy. So if you were into Star Wars, like you really could not get that itch scratched on a Sega Genesis. I know it's going to piss some people off, but I don't care. But yeah, like I said, maybe one of the best damn, the best, like, I mean, like Treasure just made really good games, and their hallmark, their claim to fame was that they optimized their game for each console it was on. So if you had something on the Sega Genesis and it was made by Treasure, it was going to be optimized to run really well on the Sega Genesis. They're the ones who made Wario World for the GameCube, and that game is really good on the GameCube. Like Treasure makes really good games, and then they just kind of disappeared, and now I don't think they've released a new game in years. Like, all they do now is just, like, license out their old shit to people. So, you know, if you're lucky, you might get a Radiant Silvergun or Ikaruga. Here, let me wiki them. Treasure Incorporated. So their latest game was Geist Crusher in 2014.
2014.
So they haven't had
7
a new
years.
game. They haven't had a new game come out in 7 going on 8 years.
Well, that is a bit awkward stance.
Yeah. Because now they're down to 16 employees. All right.
16. Isn't that something like a maintenance crew?
Well, this was in 2010. Magawa, who's the CEO of the company, says that Treasure now uses middleware to develop games, no longer using custom programming to push the hardware to their maximum levels. The company was also putting an increased focus on re-releasing their back catalog as downloadable games on the Virtual Console, PlayStation Network, and Xbox Live. Treasure has not released any new games since 2014, apart from re-releases of games like Ikaruga. So here's what's come out since '97, which is when they came out with the N64. So their first game that they made was Gunstar Heroes in '93. Then McDonald's Treasure Island Adventure. I heard that's pretty good. Dynamite Headdy. We all know that game is good. Yu Yu Hakusho. Makio Toitsusen, Alien Soldier, which is fucking awesome. Except here in America, that was only on the Sega channel. Light Crusader, I heard that game's good too. Guardian Heroes in '96. It's like a beat 'em up with RPG elements, so it's good. Mischief Makers in '97 for the N64. Silhouette Mirage, I've never heard of that game. Radiant
Dang.
Silvergun, arcade and Sega Saturn. Rakugai Showtime. Only came out in Japan. Bang.io for the N64 and Dreamcast. Sin and Punishment, N64 and EK player. Or EQ. I call EK because it's IQUE, and I took Spanish for years, so when I see that, that's EK. Sylphid Lost Planet, that's PS2 game. Stretch Panic, that's that game where you play a girl who has a ribbon attached to her hair that like can pinch and pull things. So it's kind of fun because you can like the enemies, like you're this little flat-chested little girl who uses her ribbon to twist, to pull the bra, to snap their bra and snap their boobs and stuff. It's a really interesting game. 2001 Ikaruga.
I was about to say, that was a twisted but funny game.
Yeah, 2001 Ikaruga. That was on the arcade, Dreamcast, and GameCube. Ikaruga is like one of the best shoot 'em ups ever. Tiny Toon Adventures Buster Stream 2002. Hajime no Ippo, The Fighting on the Game Boy Advance. Wario World in 2003. Dragon Drive D-Master Shot on the GameCube. That was only Japan. Astro Boy Omega Factor. That's a really good game. Like, if you ever want to play like a really good 2D style beat 'em up, it's on the Game Boy Advance. The closest game that I can think of that's like Astro Boy Omega Factor is if you get Dragon Ball Advance. It's like that, except it's got more depth to it than Dragon Ball Advance. Gradius 5 on the PS2. Advanced Guardian Heroes, which is kind of like a sequel to Guardian Heroes. Gunstar Superheroes, another kind of sequel to Gunstar Heroes. Bleach, The Blade of Fate for the DS. They did Sega Ages 25,000, Volume 25, Gunstar Heroes Treasure Box. Bleach Dark Souls, Bang.io Spirit. Like, they haven't come out with anything new since Geist Crusher. Which is kind of sad. So
Yeah, it's sad. I just feel sorry for them, knowing what happened to them.
yeah, it's sad. I feel kind of bad about it because, like I said, Treasure. Like, I mean, I would say the vast majority of these games that they've developed are quality. Even their licensed games are good. And how many developers can say that their licensed games were good?
One of the few would be Lego, and that's a mixed bag.
What?
I said one of the few of them would be Lego, and that's a mixed bag.
Yeah, but I mean, the Lego games, the Lego itself is a brand, and then you have the license that the Lego brand is like filtered through. So you have like Lego City, which is its own thing, but then you have like Lego Avengers, Lego Marvel, Lego Marvel 2,
Yeah,
Lego
that's
Batman.
why I say it's a mixed bag.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of like those fucking what are they called? Those Warriors games. Like there's the Warriors brand, but then there's like then they take the Warriors game and they filter it through something like Warriors Fist of the North Star, which I actually have those two games and I like them. Yeah. I like the Warrior Fist of the North Star game because it makes sense that you have this guy going around. Like, because anyone who's seen Fist of the North Star, it makes sense to have Kenshiro going around just beating the shit out of tons of dudes, making them explode. Makes sense in context of Fist of the North Star, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that show basically had explosions of pure, beautiful white coming out of each of these bodies as they go boom,
Yeah, but
splatter, and swoosh.
yeah, but that's my
Okay,
opinion.
did I get correct?
I mean,
Okay.
but that's Fist of the North Star, though. I mean, Fist of the North Star is known for Kenshiro walking around and some dude coming up on him and being like, you owe us money. We want your water." And he's like, "Look, I don't want to have any problems. Just leave me alone, and we'll go on." And then the dudes inevitably keep on starting shit. Kenshiro punches them like a cajillion times and walks away. They're like, "Hey, you didn't do anything." He's like, "You're already dead. You have 3 seconds to live." And then, like, some part of their body starts to swell, and then they explode in bloody gore. And it's great. Because that's Fist of the North Star, baby.
Yeah. So do they delay it to be explosions of gore in the Mushu game?
I mean, they have like, it depends on which Warriors game you're playing. Like, I personally have never seen really violent Warriors games unless you're playing Fist of the North Star or Berserk. But it wouldn't make sense. It would make sense if they did, because you essentially play these superhuman soldiers just beating the shit out of tons of people. So why not?
Wait, the Fist of the North Star and Berserk have a crossover or something?
Well, no, I'm saying that both.
Actually, that would be a fun. Interesting sight.
Both Berserk and Fist of the North Star have ultra-violent Warriors games, which makes sense because of the source material.
I was about to say, because that'd be entertaining, just for the fact that was one of the inspirations for Berserk was Fist of the North Star.
It would be an awesome crossover, like having Kenshiro, who just goes around just murdering evil people all the time. like you'd have Kenshiro. It's like, "So you're the Flame Knight?" "Yes, I am." And you raped those young women and then killed them? "Yes, I did." "You're too evil to live." 100 crack fist. It's called something else in Japanese, but I watched Fist of the North Star with shitty dubbing, so I know the English translation of the Japanese attack. So 100 crack fist. It's like, "You didn't do anything." "I've hit 13 of your pressure points. You're already dead."
I like that parody by Team 4 Star with the Fist of the North Star character.
Yeah.
Goes up the cell.
If you really want to see a really good parody of Fist of the North Star, go watch Bobobo Bobobo.
Oh.
Where
no!
he's got Fist of the nose hair. Yeah, it's just like literally Bobobo Bobobo is a shitty art-wise parody of Fist of the North Star. Except Bobobo Bobobo is supposed to be Kenshiro.
I consider that a parody. I consider that a parody show that you can never take seriously.
No, the whole thing is a parody of Fist of the North Star. Every character is a parody of character. Like, Beauty is a parody of Lin. Don Patch is a parody of Bart. Gas X is a parody of Ray. Like, they're all parodies of characters from Fist of the North Star, except the art style is really shitty. So, but
God.
Yeah, and Bobobo is essentially like Kenshiro. Bobobo is super ultra masculine. Like, that's his. Kenshiro is also super ultra masculine. Except, have you ever noticed that when you watch Fist of the North Star, whether you read the manga or watch the TV show, that after every episode where Kenshiro goes into super mode and rips his shirt, he always has a new shirt. So at some point between episodes, he literally finds needle and thread and like repairs his old shirt or sews a new one. Like, so
But
even though he's
you
ultra
actually give that
masculine,
guy
he's really good at house crafting.
Credit.
It's like,
He-
I've got to.
Yeah.
I gotta repair this shirt because I ripped it last time after I kicked those dudes' ass in that town 30 miles north. Fist of the North Star.
And he has to be sure that every piece of cloth is found.
Yeah, or there's like a factory someplace in the middle of the apocalypse that, the nuclear apocalypse happened, but this one factory is filled with red T-shirts that he comes back to every few months and restocks upon red T-shirts. It's little things like that just make me go, I love Fist of the North Star.
It's comedy gold, or at least virtual violence gold.
Well, it is comedy gold because Fist of the North Star is so overly violent that I can't take it seriously, even when horrific things happen. Like people getting their heads squashed, women being raped. It's like I can't take Fist of the North Star seriously. And I feel terrible about that.
Which should be a warning sign of some sort.
No, like sometimes shit is so violent that you can't take the like a Jason movie, like a Friday the 13th movie, right? Like they went from being really violent to being so violent that you can't take the violence seriously.
It's over the top.
It's so over the top that you can't take it seriously. It's like shitty CGI blood that's so overly CGI that you know it's fake. Like that Hellboy reboot that came out a few years ago.
Ooh.
And it's not. Yes, and there's not really like you're not really attached to the characters or anything, and people getting killed, or even you don't even have like an attachment. By what I mean, a sort of a loathsome attachment to the enemies. It just becomes more of a spectacle than anything else.
But I mean, if it was an enjoyable spectacle, I'm talking about where it's like, oh, this shit just like. This guy just died and I don't care. Or they have an R rating and there's like I shit you not. The color of The Shape of Water and the Hellboy reboot both had a R rating, but The Shape of Water used its R rating so much better than what you had going on in Hellboy. Like you could have made the Hellboy reboot PG-13 and you would not have known the difference whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like it was like I remember watching that movie because I actually do like the Hellboy films. I liked the two Guillermo del Toro ones. You could watch this the Hellboy reboot and literally it's like 2/3 of the way through the movie. It's like someone realized who was directing this film, like, oh shit, this is rated R. We can have tits and fake blood. Oh, this is great, bro. Like literally 2/3 of the way through the film, they realize it's a rated R film. It's the most disconcerting thing I've ever seen. But that's neither here nor there. We've waxed poetic about Treasure, got segued off on some other shit. So let's keep it moving. And do you have a first, second, or third party developer / console manufacturer that has an IP that's just been dormant, just been laying up there that you really wish they would bring back in some way, shape, or form?
I wish Square and Nintendo would team up again and make a new Super Mario RPG game. Like, maybe use
That's reaching for the stars, buddy.
Maybe use the combination of the actually, because they were trying to go for a clay-like aesthetic, they should use the a variation of the Kirby Canvas
Rainbow Curse,
whatever that Rainbow Curse engine.
Yeah. I'd be cool with that.
It's now the technology's good enough where they can actually do something like that.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that. That would be awesome. Maybe bring back Malo and Gino, Booster. Yeah. Maybe like just do one that's like that takes place in generally the same universe as the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, though something tells me it will have to be a little bit more out there to bring the Keeper of the of the stars back down.
Oh, they could. You would have Mario and Princess Peach and Bowser go into space. Because it's already been established in the first game, the very first Super Mario RPG, that there's shit going on in space. So you just basically say, okay, you have the Mushroom Kingdom and Bowser's Kingdom and whatever's going on in there, but then you have like maybe 2 or 3 other planets that you get to explore, get new party members, shit like that. You could pull it off.
Or maybe since
I was just thinking that it would be Gino coming down.
or maybe you can have,
Gino.
or maybe you can have, since we're going in space, you can have Rosalina show up.
Well, I mean, they
Like
had
Mario Kart.
Samus and Link show up in Super Mario RPG, so it's not
Yeah.
inconceivable that you have other characters, like you go into a hidden area, and it's the Cosmic Observatory with Rosalina.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing here? Like she lets you visit one-off planets with super bosses on them that if you beat them, you can get like rare items and shit.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like, you could totally do that, and I'd be okay with that. I mean, you'd have to pull Square Enix's face out of their own ass, but you could pull it off.
Yep.
So I guess it's my turn. The IP that's been dormant for a long time that I would like to see a new IP for, and this is actually Square Enix owned this IP. Not anymore. It used to be under Atlas, but now it's under Square Enix. Lufia. I really like the Lufia franchise. There's 5 games in the series. 4 of them range from being excellent to good to okay. Only one is terrible, and it's the one that was made by Square Enix. And yeah, oh, we're joined by Kirby Lover 03. Hello, sir.
Hey.
How's it going?
Hello?
How's it going?
We can hear
Going
you.
Good.
That's good. That's good. Well, you just joined us at the end of the first topic, but we still haven't finished it out. So if you would like to throw your hat into the ring on your opinion on a dormant IP that needs a new installment from a first, third, or second party developer / console manufacturer, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I have some ideas.
Go ahead.
Okay, so, I'd like to see Starfy return.
Star what?
Starfy, like the legendary Starfy.
Oh yeah. I actually have 2 of the games in that series, and I think that was a pretty good series. Yeah, Starfy was a good series. I don't know why Nintendo just kind of abandoned it.
Too Japanese or Western audience.
I mean, but it was like a slightly more serious Kirby game.
Yeah, I agree. I loved how there was story in between the levels. That's what I wanted in Kirby.
Yeah. And the gameplay was like a slightly more involved Kirby game.
Yeah. I don't know many other third-party games I went back because a lot of them did come back to PlayStation. Mega Man, there was Ghosts and Goblins, there was
Well, Capcom is starting to make a lot of their old. They're starting to put new installments in their storied franchise. Like they released a new Ghouls and Ghosts.
yeah.
They did Mega Man 11. Was it Mega Man 12?
Mega Man 11.
Yeah, Mega Man 11. And apparently that did well enough that they're probably going to do a Mega Man X for Mega Man's big year next year. I think his X anniversary, or whatever. So I mean,
another
Capcom's
that came back.
Yeah, Capcom's starting to get their shit together.
Sega.
Sega, it's very hit or miss with Sega. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, Sega makes good... Like, okay, the best Sonic game that we've had come out in years is one that was made by fans and not Sega proper.
Okay, I agree.
So...
I'm worried about the next Sonic.
Well, I mean, if Sega would just, like, stick with a formula for 3D and then refine it, it would be great. But they keep on just releasing 3D Sonic games, and then when people complain about it, instead of fixing the issues with the next iteration, they drop everything and do something new. And it's like, you can't keep on doing that.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta refine your formula.
True.
So, I don't get it. You know,
Right.
I don't know, as they say. I don't know. I want Sonic the Hedgehog to be awesome. Not because I'm a Sonic fan, but because I'm tired of Sonic fans complaining about, why Sonic the Hedgehog isn't awesome. Like, why isn't it awesome? I mean, look, I don't know. Shit, you gotta ask them. I don't know.
True.
But,
Speaking of Sonic, some people have made very good fan animations.
Yeah, I've seen some Sonic fan animations. I try not to get too involved with it because a lot of them are those almost not safe for work anthropomorphized things,
No.
and I'm like, I can't go down here. Not
Enough
because
said.
not because I really care, but because if someone finds out I saw it, they're gonna be like, "See,
There'll be
you're into
questions,
furries."
right?
It's like, I'm not into furries. Although if people are into furries, good for them.
As I said, there'll be questions that rise from that.
Yeah, so I don't want to try to explain something that I really am not invested in. So I was like, yeah, I can't.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about more things like Sonic Mania Adventure or Super Mario Bros. Z.
I like Super Mario Bros. Z.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
really, if Sega really wants to do like a 3D, if they want to get the template to how to do a good 3D Sonic game, here's what Sega needs to do. Make a deal with Nintendo and have them make a Mario and Sonic crossover. Not Mario and Sonic at the Olympics, like a legit open world action adventure game with Mario and Sonic. Leverage their special abilities. Sonic's speed, Mario's jumping ability. And, maybe have their villains team up to take both of them down. I don't know. Do something like that so people can get involved with the series. Stop giving us, Mario and Sonic. Come on, man. And then, see how Nintendo does it.
Stop shortchanging us and give us something that we could sink our teeth into, right?
Yeah, see how Nintendo does it, and then steal those ideas for yourselves and for 3D Sonic. So then you have a template on how to do this. Because I'm tired of bad Sonic games. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, not bad 3D Sonic games. Because most of the 3D Sonic games are kind of iffy at best.
And I would honestly be arguing with some people, but the last 3D Sonic game that I felt worked in a sense would be the Sonic Heroes, and that's a mixed bag as it is.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, and I personally don't think that highly of Sonic Heroes. So, like no one is happy with any of these. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Anything else anyone wants to say before we move on to the second topic?
One last IP. 2D.
Oh,
2D
no.
Contra.
Yes, I would love another 2D Contra. And I even have a company that I know who could be paid to make it. WayForward.
Oh.
Because WayForward are the people who made that awesome Mummy game. That's like a really good kind of like Metroidvania Light.
Oh.
So if you're gonna, it was based on that craptastic movie that no one wanted. You know, that shitty mummy movie that no one was asking for. But the game's actually really good. So why not leverage that and do a fucking Contra Metroidvania game with like cell shaded with 16-bit graphics or 32-bit graphics, like Symphony of the Night or something.
So.
Oh, you're trying to make some of us hope and joy.
Well, because I mean, personally,
Oh,
those are my
yeah,
favorite
yeah.
Contra games. Like I like my Contra games like that. I don't like Contra where it's like trying to be 3D and shit.
If they allow you to hold 2 power-ups and you can switch between them,
You mean
I'd be happy.
Super Contra or Contra 3, the Alien Wars?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that. Anyway, those are both really good ideas, and I can't top that. Like I was gonna say, like I said, my first one was Lufia, because I just really want a new Lufia game. Everyone always says a sequel to Chrono Trigger, but come on, would you trust Square Enix as it's right now to make a sequel to Chrono Trigger? I don't.
Oh. No.
So,
I'm sorry. I heard that, I almost coughed out my heart. Because, seriously, who would trust Square Enix with another Chrono Trigger?
I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't trust Square Enix as it's right now to walk my dog, much less make a new Chrono Trigger. So I would go with, let's see, I did Lufia. I want a new Deus Ex. That would be cool. I mean, because clearly Crystal Dynamics would be better making a new Deus Ex rather than continuing to spend time, energy, and effort on that new Marvel Avenger game that no one wanted.
Ooh.
I'm just keeping it real.
I know. You're just punching hard.
I mean, no one wanted that, so why continue to force it and just do something new? That's all I'm saying. Anyway, yeah, do a new Deus Ex, learn some lessons, like maybe have an actual open world city to explore and not like that kind of cordoned off shit that they did in Deus Ex Human Revolution and Deus Ex, the sequel to that game. Just really have an open city to explore. Kind of like, I would say, take some cues from Cyberpunk 27 in that regards, in terms of like having a city that feels like it, that has some scale to it, and put some real money behind it. Because I know Square Enix doesn't care about that because they kind of inherited the Deus Ex franchise because they bought Eidos. But come on, some of us like that game. So, with that being said, let's keep it moving. Let's talk about surprisingly good games that are much better than they have any business being. And who wants to go first?
Sims. Or more specifically for me, The Sims 2.
I agree.
It's a sandbox game that features little creatures that you are their god.
Little people that you can
And
torture.
It has no right to be so fun to guide
Torture
their fate.
people? Oh, torture them, really. Because the fun of The
I
Sims
said
for
guide their
me...
fate. I didn't say
No.
how.
The fun thing for me with The Sims is just torturing my sim. Now, for me, when I play The Sims... Yo, Kenoshi. Stop.
Sorry.
Kanoshi.
Yeah, when I play The Sims, my big thing with The Sims that I like to do is when I play The
Welcome
Sims,
to the room.
well, Sims 1 or 2, like I'll create a sim that's based on me, okay? Like an idealized version of me, okay, in The Sims. And I'll use a cheat, give that guy a bouncing pad, send him to college, make him be just banging, right? But then I'll create a series of Sims of people that I just want to torture. So I'll have like a Sim that I'll like, the old adage where you take a Sim and have them go swimming in the pool, and then get rid of the steps so that they can get out of the pool. So then they just swim and swim until they get tired and die. Or have a sim, feed him tons of pizzas, and then get rid of all the bathrooms, and then lock him in a bathroom, but get rid of the toilet so he can't go to the bathroom. So then he dies.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm kind of sick. I like killing
that-
my sims in
you're
horrific
that
ways.
kind of sim. You're that kind of sim player.
Yes.
Oh, like Roller
The
Coaster
one that
Tycoon.
loves to harm those little guys.
Well, they're not real. They're lines of code. So, if these are real people, I'd go
I
to
know.
jail for torture. But because it's a video game, I can totally torture them. And no one's going to, what do they
I
do?
know.
Send you
I'm
to
just
jail?
saying that if anything, I just thought that you'd at least have a little guilt.
No. No, I do not.
A little guilt in having so much fun killing stuff, and even if it's inanimate.
Look, we all know that if you play Sims 1 or 2, like Sims 3 added kind of like the life paths where you could kind of like your character's a scientist, so you have to go further along the lines of becoming a scientist. But Sims 1 and 2, the whole point of Sims 1 and 2 is to make enough money to maintain your life cycle, your lifestyle in your house, while at the same time meeting the emotional needs of your sim. Male or female, that meant making woohoo, finding a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or downloading the patch that made it so that you
Find
could
that
have,
partner.
you could have same-sex relationships. And that's it. Much like real life. Make enough money to maintain your lifestyle, find someone to share it with, and live your life. That's it. But I mean, that gets boring after a while, so sim torture.
It's funny that
Mhm.
I'm the only one that doesn't do that.
You're missing
No,
out.
I mean you're basically playing with action figures or toys.
Sim
Yes,
torture is great. It may be one of the best things of all time.
I wonder about that, but still.
Well, that sounds like a game that totally has no business being as good.
It is, but that's the brilliant of Will Wright. Like, Will Wright made games where it's like, this is way better than it has any business being. Like, even SimCity. SimCity should be terrible.
But somehow it's tasty.
It works.
It's like it's like you're expecting a bad flavor, and somehow it surprises you with a flavorful bounty, right?
Like, I've never played a bad Sims game. Any Sim game. SimCity. Well, okay, that's not true. The 2014 SimCity that they were like, oh, it has to be online all the time. Like, that SimCity was bad, but every other SimCity I've played, like SimTown, Sim Ant, Sim Earth, SimCopter, Sim Tower, all those games are great.
Yeah, as I said, The Sims had more going for it than it should have.
Yeah, it's much better than it has any business being.
So that's only my shot.
All
What
right.
about you guys?
Anyone else have any other games that they're like, this is much better than it has any business being? This should be terrible on paper, and yet playing it, it's actually really good.
Boys?
Okay, I have a couple games.
Okay, go ahead.
Fall Guys and Arn.
Fall Guys?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that
Because,
game.
like, when I looked at it, I felt like it looked like a really cheap game that has not the best jumping. I mean, I guess maybe it didn't help that I was tired that. I mean, tired that day.
If you
Hmm?
to the one that's not initiated, do you know something called Ninja Warrior or American Ninja Warrior?
Yes.
I watched it because it was like Ninja Warrior was like the unofficial successor to American Gladiator. It was like an
Yeah.
adult version of Guts.
In a sense, in a sense, that's what Fall Guys is. Except there's a lot more people that are going through this obstacle course at the same time.
That's true.
Oh, you mean Fall Guys? That's that game that took the world by storm. That had those really fucking ugly character models. That everyone's like, oh, they're
Yeah.
just really cute, but they're actually like 6'4" dudes.
I was going to call them Among Us copies.
and everyone just basically, in order to get ahead, like most people just screw people over so that they lose, versus actually
Yes.
completing the courses. Yeah, that game looks like fun, like it's fun to play.
Was trying to get to first place.
Yeah, that game looks like it's fun to play. I don't know if it is fun to play, but it looks like it's fun to play.
Oh, it is. It is.
Mostly just screwing people over so that they lose. It's like, I'm gonna be in first place. I'm gonna be in first place. No, you won't.
Yeah. Yeah. In a sense, it's like a twisted version of Mario Kart.
Yeah, like people, like, look, listen. If I'm playing a single player game by myself, yes, you want to play it with a certain modicum of decency. But if I'm playing an online game where the whole point is to screw people over, I'm totally down with that.
Yeah.
You know, someone's like, how could you do that? Very easily. Watch me. Ah! You thought you had it. Some Smash Brothers matches are like that. Like, you know, you can't win, but you can fuck that other guy's score up.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, why not? Yeah. Yeah, I agree. The game that basically made me come up with this topic is that I've been playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and it's surprisingly better than it has any business being.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, I thought
Yeah, I
that
would
game
agree.
was...
I still need to go finish that game.
I thought that game was going to be a steaming pile of dog shit. And I'm playing it, and I'm like, this is better than any of the Disney Star Wars movies I played. Even though the main character, Cal Kestis, is just really annoying.
Yeah, boring.
Well, he's very generic, but his genericness actually helps the character out. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense that he's so generic and boring, because that's how he hid for X amount of years after the fall of the Jedi Order. You know, if he stood out, I'm Mr. Fantastic, they would have found his ass. You know.
The game I would choose is Sonic Lost World, because there's so many good ideas in that game. The Mario Galaxy inspiration, the fact that they realized that Sonic, it shouldn't just necessarily be about, it shouldn't only be about Sonic being able to run really fast.
Yeah.
And there's definitely, you know, it's definitely flawed in a few areas, but it's like, well, Sega, you got something here if you just would have built off of it. But no.
Yeah, I agree.
You had to get that
We got Sonic Boom.
generation sequel.
No, Sonic Boom. Like,
The Sonic Boom.
the sad thing about Sonic Lost World is that if Sega had just taken that formula and refined it, they could have had a template for all of their 3D Sonic games. But instead, they just keep on. Oh no, let's throw this down the garbage, Matt. Shoot.
Yeah, it's like I understand that reviewers
Don't remind me of that.
reviewers panned it. They didn't see the potential in it. Like, I can understand giving it like a 6 or 7, but being like at the end of the review, being like, look, there's some potential here. There's some potential for this idea to grow and become something even more if refined. But you know, they were like, nah, this game's terrible.
How hard it bombed?
But it didn't bomb. The game was profitable.
Really think. Mm.
The game was profitable.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I think it's like what, got like a 65-70% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I mean, it's sold, especially since, it was only on the Wii U for at least a few years until, I think it was several years before it hit PC.
Yeah,
But yeah, it
but
was on the
even
Wii
on
U
the
for a
Wii U,
long
it sold
time.
relatively well. So,
Yeah.
I mean, what else could you want?
I mean,
You
I
know?
was thinking it was review bombed,
I
not.
mean, I
Well,
don't think it was review
here's the
bombed.
here's the problem with a lot of these publishers is that base off they base whether they're gonna make a sequel to a game or improve, whether or not that they get, a good day one review score. They give their developers bonuses based on the Metacritic score, and that makes no sense to me.
Well,
That just seems ass backwards.
that's the reason that Obsidian fucking hates Bethesda is because, like, I think Fallout New Vegas got like a 78 on Metacritic, and all they needed was to get an 80 or higher, and they didn't get their bonus. It was like, that's fucking cold.
Yeah, I
That
mean, it's
is.
like if I was running a company, I'd be like, we sold 5 million copies, booze and bonuses for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
Well, I
I don't
mean,
understand what they're thinking.
that's kind of like people got mad at Cyberpunk. They were like, "How could you take bonuses?" Yeah, but it's like one of their highest selling games of all time. So sales wise, they made their money plus revenue plus an excess of expenses incurred. So they made a profit. That's how
So
business
that I mean,
works.
yeah, I mean that's why I wasn't like all like a quiver with the fact that people ended up getting bonuses. It's like, yeah, it sold a lot. Yeah, yeah, it got review bomb, or at least by the consumer. But like, so how many millions did they sell? Like 8 million.
No, I think overall right now, I mean, even after people returned their copies, it's has a sell through number of like over 13, 14 million copies.
Oh wow. Okay,
So, I
yeah, they
mean,
sold a lot.
shit, yeah. Like, people are like, oh, they shouldn't get a bonus. So, let me get this straight, okay? The developers who worked on this game, they put out because the size of Cyberpunk 2077, that is a huge open world. Gigantic, okay? A game of that size normally takes 5 or more years to develop. They put it out in 4.5, okay? So it's not surprising that the game has the bugs it has, okay? But with all that being said, they still sold a huge number of copies of that game. And so the people who worked on it shouldn't get their bonuses because the product didn't launch in the most optimal state, even though it made a lot of money. That's stupid. I'm sorry. I'm not saying the game was not in the best of shape, but those people shouldn't be forced to lose a lot of money because of other people's actions. I don't think. I know some people are going to get mad. How could you say that? Come on. You're punishing other people for other people's stuff. Anyway, that's my opinion. Yeah, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is much better than it has any business being. It actually has begun to reignite my interest in Star Wars, um, which is amazing to me because for the longest time I was like, man, fuck Star Wars. But I legitimately am into this game. I also like the fact that one of the character models in the game is Deborah Wilson from Mad TV. I'm like, that woman looks very familiar, and I was like, wait a second, that's Deborah Wilson from Mad TV. I'm I'm like, really? I mean, I can't believe she's doing modeling for whatever, because she has a very unique look. But yeah, yeah, it's a pretty good game. Let's keep it moving. Epic. It's come out through court documents between the court battle between Apple and Epic. That Epic has taken a page out of Microsoft's book. They are spending hundreds of millions of dollars money hatting games. For their game store.
Okay, I was about to say, so they're buying games rather than making games.
No, they make games too, but they're like basically Epic is getting money because people are using the Unreal Engine, which Epic owns. They're also making money because they're getting because of Fortnite. They're also making money because people are they're getting cash infusions from Sony and Microsoft and Tencent, stuff like that. So they're making money hand over fist. And they're money hatting a ridiculous amount, which is exactly what Microsoft did. I don't know how long they can do this. Like, I personally think they should spend some of that fucking money making their game store better, but that's just me.
I was gonna make a joke that if anything, their shop is at least better than Stadia's, so I could give them that.
Yeah, but that's a very low bar to hurdle.
I'm sorry, it's just that Epic I could at least respect in a way. But if anything, I use Stadia for punching bag.
That's like you saying, hey, this guy keeps on busting my house and kicking me in the nuts. But one day he busts in your house and he just punches you in the throat. It's like, yeah, that's better than kicked in the nuts, but you still got punched, you know. You still got assaulted.
Yeah,
it's just.
I know. It's just that if anything, I find at least say that Epic is going a little odd, but at least it's doing better than something that's worse.
Well, I mean, Epic, whether you like Epic or not, is actually supporting their store, even though they're doing it in what I think is kind of an ass backwards kind of way. But if you look at if you look at Google, they literally created they created a solution to a problem that no one had. Because no one who really wants to game says, I really want to get into gaming, but I just don't want to buy a console. Said no one ever. It's like someone saying, you know what, I really want to be able to drive to my house. I mean, to drive to the grocery store. So you know what I'm gonna do? What, you're gonna buy a car? Oh, hell no, no. I'm gonna do ride sharing in order to get to my house. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. I know, right?
Yeah.
So that's basically what they did, and it's kind of sad, really. So.
When I was young.
But anyway, those are my opinions. So with that being said, let's. You guys have any thoughts about Epic money hatting before we move on to the next topic? Nothing? That's it? You guys got nothing to add? Okay then. Game Builder Garage.
Oh boy, this is something that I'm mixed about, and this is a personal thing because, for one, I really like knowing how some people are able to create some of these really good games, or at least try to give these prototypes an idea. But also, I get a laugh at some of the memes that this game caused. Specifically, the one I tried to show Red Fox to try to see if I could make him laugh. And
No, I
I'm
saw
guessing
it.
by how he took it that he didn't get a big laugh.
No, I saw it. Look, I'm laughing at the people who bought Labo and thought that was a big deal. Because I remember talking about it. I was like, man, this seems like kind of a ripoff. And everyone was like, yeah, you know what you're talking about. I was like, oh, this seems like a money grab, greedy ass ripoff to me. And then, people got mad at me. They're like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, okay, that's where you're going.
For me, I was just basically laughing because I know this is going to be popular for a while, but also you're aiming at little kids that are into creating things. So
yeah, I don't think this is for little kids. I don't think this is for little kids. Like the argument that this is for
little kids, but the price is
concept
not kid friendly.
The concept may be for little kids, but here's the thing, okay? Like Star Wars action figures and like toys and shit are for kids, right? But most of the people who buy that type of paraphernalia are adults because adults have money. So that's not the target audience. Even though they claim it is, that is not the target audience. And I just knew that this was going to be some bullshit, and I was right. I was waiting on it. I was like, yeah. I was like everyone here seen Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, and remember the hotel manager who was like, I know this kid stole this credit card, and I know his ass shouldn't be up here. And when he finally swipes the card, he's like, it's reported as stolen. He's like, I got it. I got your ass. I knew it. Like, that's basically how I felt about Labo. I'm like, I know there's some shady shit going on, because no one wants this. Like, even the most fervent, hardcore Nintendo fans are like, yeah, I'll pay $120 for some fucking cardboard. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are some people who did that, because I remember being on podcasts where people were like, yeah, I'm going to buy it. This is great. I'm like, cardboard. But apparently not enough to keep this shit alive.
Yeah. With me, I said that this is a fun concept for little kids, but I don't think it's going to be as big as his. People are thinking it out to be.
Yeah, it didn't make it. I don't feel bad about it.
And while I'm actually thrilled to see what the game creator is going to be like in a sense, I am going to be watching with the idea that Mario Maker has this kind of concept too, and your miles may vary.
Yeah, I don't want to play any I don't like maker games, like, because the way I feel about it is, if I'm spending money on a game, like, the relationship is like this: I give you money, you make a game, I play the game. That's how the shit works. You don't sell me a game and then I got to make the game myself. Because if that's the case, what the fuck do I need to give you money for? Like, legitimately, if all these companies want to make these maker games, then these games should not be more than $40 at most. Yeah. If you're not making the game and you're just selling us the development kit, basically the software to make the stuff, then these don't need to be full price. Like Mario Maker does not need to be $60. It should be $50 at most. If you're just selling us some shit to make it ourselves. So that's my opinion, and I know some people are gonna get mad and be like, "How could you say that?"
I was gonna say, if you wouldn't buy it to make your own game, or at least make your own levels, would you buy it to play what other people have made? That's the only other angle I would go for.
No. Because no Mario Maker game, either on Mario Maker 3DS, Mario Maker 2, none of those games, none of those Mario Maker levels are close to anything that was made by Nintendo themselves. Why the fuck would I pay to play? Why would you pay to eat amateur made food? Why? Like, wouldn't you pay to eat stuff made by the chef? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. This shit should be cheaper if you're just selling people a software development kit.
At least that's the only way I would frame it with you, Red, because I know you're not one to make something. I just know that you're one to play things around.
I've made games. I've made about 5 RPG Maker games. But the thing is that when I finished them, I wasn't charging people for the shit because I know I'm an amateur. I don't need to be making this for people. And I wasn't hyping the shit up. I was like, oh yeah, I made this using RPG Maker. To me, it just seems a little pretentious. But that's my own personal opinion. Keeping it moving. Oh, my back.
That's how you lay down on it.
No. So, what do you think about Game Builder Garage, Kenoshi?
Like I said, I think it's an interesting idea for little kids. I know there's a company out there that does stuff like that builds sets to help kids learn how to program. Maybe this could help them learn how to design games or something. Or people who just need something to it's a lot of people that like to create stuff in games. But I agree. I think these sort of things should be at least $40. I think selling them for like $60 is a bit too much.
All right. Okay. Jewel?
For me, I said that this is sparking my curiosity, but I'm watching how it turns out for now before I think about even trying to get into it. Though then again, this brings up something else that there was another game maker that's for other consoles, and I could tell that it's already going to be a mess, especially when I heard that some of those games got C&D'd.
What, RPG Maker?
Not RPG Maker, but it was something. But it was another game maker that allowed you to make your own games on the PlayStation, I think, and some people use.
You mean
that to try to make games from Banjo.
You mean Codename Dreams? I know what you're talking about. It was Codename Dreams. It was made by the people that made Media Molecule, the people that made Little Big Planet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's on the PlayStation though. That's for those Sony fanboys who were like those were for the people who played fucking what's it called? Who played Little Big Planet were like, you know what? The platforming in this is trash. The actual gameplay is trash. But I like making my own levels. For people who just like making their own levels, and there are people who like to create things. It's like people who like playing with Legos, not for playing with them, but for building shit. And I understand that. You know, I used to be that way when I was a really little kid, but now I'm like if I build a Lego set. Like, if I build a Lego set Batmobile or Batwing or Lego set X-Wing, like, I'm keeping that shit the way it is, you know? Like, the days of me, like, I'm going to play with this. I'm like, if I spent all that time making the shit, I want it to stay the way it is. Which I know is against the ethos of the Lego movie, but if you spend 40 hours building a Lego X-Wing or Millennium Falcon, you do not want someone coming in there fucking with that after you built it, okay? You just don't, because you put too much time into it. Because that's almost a job right there. But anyway, anyone have any other topics they want to bring up before we wrap things up?
To be honest with you, I'm surprised that we didn't bring up some other things like how how many more Blizzard people have jumped ship.
Well, we already talked about the former vice president earlier this week leaving, so I mean, you know.
Yeah, I, I was trying to be sure about that since I'm not sure of how much we covered it.
I mean, we covered it pretty in depth with the vice president. I mean, at this point, it's too sad of a story to continue going over. Like seeing the slow demise of what was once one of the premier PC development houses. I mean, when Blizzard released that Blizzard Arcade Hits, and they had Lost Vikings, Blackthorn, and what was it? Let me look. Blizzard Arcade Hits. And Rock and Roll Racing. And I'm like, Blizzard made more games within that. Like, where's Lost Vikings 2?
You're right about that. Then the only thing I got is a question that probably should be another podcast or something. Would you like another video game that involves time travel or time editing, like Blinks the Time Cat, Chrono Trigger, that kind of thing?
Oh wait, I lied. It has Lost Vikings 2 in it. You have to unlock it though.
Oh.
Yeah, Lost Vikings 2 is.
Please tell me that.
Lost Vikings 2 is so much better than the first Lost Vikings. And Blackthorn's pretty good. It's like Prince of Persia crossed with Flashback.
Okay, I was gonna say though that, at least for that one, do you need to beat Lost Vikings to get the second?
I don't know. I'm just saying because I think I have the Blizzard Arcade. Let me look it up. I think I bought it on Steam. No, I'll have to buy it. But anyway, yeah, if it has Lost Vikings 2 in it, because I like Lost Vikings 2, I think it's a pretty good game.
Well, as I said, I did have a question, though I wasn't sure if this should be for another podcast or not. Would you want a time editing or time travel game like Blinks the Time Cat or Chrono Trigger?
I mean, yes, but not like Blinks the Time Cat because I don't really like that game that much. I'd rather have like Chrono Trigger or
I said time editing, which is what Blinks does, because you're basically rewinding the clock back a little bit at a time to.
Yeah, but that's overly
platforms or.
That's overly simplistic. So I would rather have it be more like Chrono Trigger, where you're editing, where you're changing events in time, like major events, in order to affect some change in the future or the past. Either that, or more like Radiant Historia, where it's like that but on a micro scale.
Okay, I was at least asking that. So,
like I said, I'm not using Blinks the Time Cat as an example because I hate that game. I think it's overrated.
How about you guys?
Kenoshi.
What was the question?
Would you rather have a time editing game like Blinks the Time Cat or time changing time travel like Chrono Trigger, Radiant Historia, that type of thing?
Yeah, Chrono Trigger, Radiant Historia. I'd rather have that.
Yeah, I agree.
At least I asked, since if anything, I was a little curious about it.
I mean, time editing is nice when it's done well. Like, I mean, there's some games that give you the ability to change time, like minute things in time, but it's not handled well in a lot of games. Like they have, you can change time. It's like, okay, that's cool. What does that mean? Well, we do this.
That's usually platformers.
Yeah.
That is usually handled by platformers.
yeah, like I haven't seen it handled really well in most platformers they don't have it really well, or it's like a minor thing that just it kind of like a one dungeon or something. Like they did it in Skyward Sword, right? Like you had that dungeon where you had these chronospheres that like basically let you go back in time and see what was happening. It was like, oh, this is cool, but I mean, I wish like if they had an entire game with that graphical art style and with that graphical fidelity, where you're basically going back and forth in time, that'd be cool. Like do a really good take on Ocarina of Time, but done well. I'd be down with that. I mean, they're not gonna do it because
Yeah, at least I thought that would be a fun idea to bring up.
yeah. Anyway, um,
Yeah, I think we got at least enough time for some a-holes.
hey, we do have a-holes of the week, but I don't really have any a-holes of the week. I got no a-holes of the week.
Which is kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's Mother's Day is tomorrow, so I haven't really been perusing the internet, but I got no a-holes of the week.
Well, if anything, I think we could change this to something a little more friendly for this week. What what char- what character would you consider to be the one that you would be wanting to support the most?
Could you repeat the question?
Which character from any game in any series would you consider supporting the most? As in, which one would you want to be find a way to support them in some way? Which is probably a weird thing coming out of me.
Um. Okay. I would support. Um. I'll do three. I'll do three from each major first console manufacturer. I would do. I would support Link in Legend of Zelda, just because Link actually gives a shit. Actually, no, I'd support Princess Zelda because Princess Zelda actually, no, fuck that. I would support Midna from Twilight Princess because she actually is willing to make, she's actually willing to make sacrifices and fight for her people instead of Princess Zelda who just gives up once shit gets tough. I would support Bowser over everyone else because Bowser actually, he actually runs a relatively well-run kingdom. Like, because Princess Peach sucks as a ruler. She really does. Because, like, the Mushroom Kingdom's constantly being attacked, and her defense plans, like, she hasn't spent any money on better defenses, arming her army, weapons. Like, her defense plan is this fat-ass plumber is his skinny brother. Like, seriously? That's your plan against always being invaded with a massive army. She's terrible. And then the bitch goes on vacation at the end of everything. All the time. She's terrible. She's a terrible leader. Like really, like the Mushroom Kingdom needs to French Revolution her ass and behead her and off with her head with a guillotine. And
Dang.
I would support. Well, she's such a terrible leader. Why would you keep her around? I mean, seriously, think about it. Your kingdom.
I thought you'd be treating her like a sim.
Your kingdom is always like if you lived in a country, let's say you lived in a country where every 3 to 4 years you're being attacked, and here's the thing. Your ruler will not put any money into defenses so that you won't get attacked. Like, at a certain point, you'd be like, I can't support you.
I thought you would treat her like a sim.
No, she needs to go. Either she needs to abdicate and someone else become the new ruler, or if she won't abdicate, then she needs to be deposed and executed. Because she's just a waste of space as a character. She's terrible. She's a terrible
Yeah, I
ruler.
could at least get that. I was just saying that would you at least treat her like a sim?
No, she's got to go.
Dang.
She's got to go. She's a terrible ruler. I would rather support Bowser over Princess Peach, because at least Bowser, like, okay, Bowser's kingdom gets wrecked. The next game, he's rebuilt. The people have houses. He's got fucking defenses. Like, I mean, the dude, like, whoever organizes for Bowser, they got their shit together. Princess Peach, useless. So,
I agree with the Peach part. With Bowser, it depends on the game because sometimes it's,
okay,
designers.
not Mario Galaxy Bowser, but like Bowser's Inside Story Bowser, pretty cool dude.
Yeah.
Bowser from Super Mario RPG, pretty chill dude. I can't get mad at that version of Bowser. Mario Galaxy Bowser, he destroyed the galaxy. I can't support that. But, like, typically Bowser isn't that heavy-handed in most of his games. He's just like, look, I think I could rule you better than Princess Peach. Plus, I want to rape the shit out of her. I'm not behind the whole rape the shit out of Princess Peach, because even though she's a terrible character, a terrible ruler, no one deserves to be raped. But as far as being like a ruler of a country, she's a terrible ruler. She needs to be deposed and executed, or just exiled, or whatever. Anyway, let's see. Sega, I would support Tails, because Tails is a more interesting character than Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, I said it. Come at me, bro. I would support... hell, I'd support Shadow over Sonic the Hedgehog, because Shadow is a more interesting character than Sonic the Hedgehog. Let's see, what else? I would support Ristar, because that was a really interesting platformer that looked really cool, that Sega released one game and they were like, yeah, it didn't do all that well, so we're going to go back to Sonic. PlayStation, I don't know. PlayStation doesn't have a lot of really good first-party games that I really give a shit about, so I'm going to skip them. That's it. So I only went 2 groups. There you go.
And since I did ask this question, I at least would support 3 characters. Red Fox stole one of them, which would be Miles Tails Prowler.
I didn't steal it. I just said he's more interesting than Sonic. He is.
Yeah.
I mean, like Sonic, what does Sonic do? He just runs fast and eats chili dogs. Okay, that's cool. Tails can fucking fly, plus he's a super genius.
Tails can fly. He has an IQ that can match Dr. Ira Robotnik.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder how the heck those two could clash so much.
Well, I mean, didn't Robotnik kill his parents?
I hope that was not true.
I'm pretty sure he killed his parents. So, yeah, that's why they clash.
Yeah.
Because he killed his parents.
The second character I would support is probably a weird one because she is a main character as well. Kazooie from Banjo-Kazooie. I mean, come on. Being used as a gun, a hammer, and basically having to take a heavyweight with her.
Yeah, but she could leave at any time.
No, she has probably a. Yeah, I was going to say that she probably has a pain in the back.
Yeah, but she could leave at any time. She's not forced to be there. She could literally just leave and no one would say anything. You'd be like, I don't like you. Bye. I mean, that's why you didn't see Kazooie in Diddy Kong Racing. Because actually, you didn't see Kazooie because they couldn't figure out.
Based on nuts and bolts.
Well, you didn't see Kazooie in Diddy Kong Racing because they couldn't figure out how to get the second character to work. But
Huh. Surprised that they didn't make Kazooie something like a horn or a taunt or some kind of taunt, or at least something for the victory screen.
I mean, no, I think it was better for her not to be there. Although, if Nintendo ever makes another Mario Kart in the style of Double Dash, they could totally, if they work out a deal with Microsoft, get Banjo and Kazooie as Double Dash characters. That shit could work.
Oh, please let that happen sometime. And for the third character, it's probably me. We're looking around for this one. Oh yeah. Dang, this is really tough for me, but I would actually say Zelda to a degree, because if anything, she at least tries for a bit, but that's iffy in a sense.
And I wasn't the whole thing. I wasn't talking about Princess Zelda as the whole thing. I was just saying Princess Zelda from Twilight Princess. She was just useless.
Oh yeah, that that's the thing. Mostly, Zelda I usually can get behind because she's a tactician and a smart one, but not in the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
She's not
She
really.
just gave up.
She's not
She just
really.
gave up.
She's not really a tactician in most of her games. Like the only time people say Princess Zelda's a tactician is like in
I said
Skyward Sword, not
to a
Skyward
good
Sword.
degree.
Yeah, Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild. Because in other games she's just a damsel, really.
Yeah. No, I wish they
damsel
really
that-
would give her more of a character. I mean,
A damsel that
She could
was able
still
to
be a
disguise
da-
herself for 7 years.
and she could still be a damsel, but they should really add to that. You know,
She's more of a damsel
and more
than Princess
nuance
Peach.
to
We
that.
could all agree there.
Um, I mean, personally, and I know this is gonna sound kind of bad. I like. I mean, like, here's the thing. It's called The Legend of Zelda, but the main character in the series is Link. So why don't they just rename the series?
I mean, they should just have a game where she has to save everybody.
They did, and that game was terrible. It's
Yeah,
on
we don't
the.
talk
It's
about
on
that
the.
game. That game's just a bad dream we all had.
It's on the Philips CDI. There's two of them, and they're terrible. No one ever wants that shit again. So, that's what I would do. But that's my opinion. Anyone else have anything else they want to add before we wrap things up? Anything? Anything?
I think we're
Nothing?
good.
Okay then.
In that case, we could thank the people for watching the BS Busters.
That's right. Thank you for watching BS Busters. Enjoy your Mother's Day weekend, your Mother's Day tomorrow, whatever you're doing with your parents, enjoy it. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. I don't know what we're gonna do with tomorrow. Not tomorrow. This Wednesday.
Next week.
Yeah, this Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday next week, we will be going back to some of the more fun shit that we like to talk about during the week. It's going to be awesome. We will be doing our BS Busters, typical, unpopular opinions and such. We didn't do A-hole of the week this week just because I couldn't really. No one did anything really heinous this week. In gaming, now in the real world maybe, but in gaming not really. So, I couldn't really find anyone to be like, this person here needs to be given the title of A-hole of the week. So we'll
Congratulations.
yeah, we'll get back on it next week. Rate, comment, share, subscribe, and
Don't forget to hype responsibly, ladies and gentlemen.
that's right. Good night, peace, and arrivederci.